the power of the database matching is it not only validates that it's correct, it works in a fuzzy way, and you don't really need to provide any rules about where on the document those information are. It's basically just going to look across the entire document, by default at least, for that data. So you don't have to say, oh, it's in the top left-hand corner, which for things like invoices is very powerful. So this is very commonly used for supplier matching on invoices, but it's also used in cases like mailroom example, where you may have a customer database. In insurance, they may not have quoted their policy number. So it needs a database match to look up that person's name and address to actually retrieve the policy number. I have a database which I've already linked into Visual Studio as a data connection. This could be an Azure table or anything else, which for these particular documents is a list of names and addresses of lenders. It's the name of a bank, it's the address, it's the state and the zip code. If I have that table and I go to my configuration here, I can literally just, again, within Visual Studio, this is my data connection. I can just drag that table onto the configuration and it will create a matcher with the appropriate fields automatically populated. You see it's picked up from Visual Studio, has provided the appropriate connection string, which could be local, could be remote. And by default, at least, I don't need to do much other than to create a field, call it lender, and connect the two. This will fuzzily match against that entire database and look for good matches on the whole document contents. So if I run one of these, you see here that it's picked up just with that database. It's found a good match, which is this particular bank, and therefore it's given that as the result. And there's a lot you can do with this. For example, you could say, obviously, this is just a key in the database, so actually I shouldn't be using that in the match. So I can change parameters like that. I've got a threshold. This is basically saying that the percentage match of all these has to be at least 70%, but I can fine tune that and say, well, you must get at least a 70 or at least an 80% match on the name for it to be confident. This provides a very powerful way of fuzzily matching against data sources.